First of all, thank you, God. Let's give a moment of silence for the NBA finally being back.
I can feel the power. Yes. Yes.
Now, in the NBA, bro, we done seen it all. We seen a lineup where the tallest player was like 6'6", and we recently seen a lineup where the shortest player was like 6'10". There was actually once upon a time where the NBA had something we like to call unicorns. These players were the Dirk Nowitzkis, the Magic Johnsons, hell, you can even say Spud Webb. Basically the players that just didn't grow on trees. But something seemed to completely change around the 2000s, the 2010s, and most definitely the upcoming 2020s. Players more than ever are like the most diverse, made in a lab type, crazy skill set dudes, and that's exactly what this video is about.
But I want you to know that this man has a smile that lights up a television screen from here to Bangor, Maine. His name is Magic Johnson, and Magic, it's a delight to have you aboard in the NBA.
In the 80s, thanks to players like Magic Johnson playing point guard at 6'9", point forwards became like a pretty big thing. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Marcus Johnson, all these players kind of thrived off of being that oversized point guard that really ran the show. Now, Magic was the only one that ran it full time, but those other guys facilitated their fair share. Magic's success over those smaller point guards and basically the way he dominated the 80s became very popular, and just like everything, it basically became a trend for the 90s. Now, to me, the 90s gave us a sneak peek of the modern point forward. It gave us our Grant Hills, our Penny Hardaways, basically the players that not only set up offense and create offense for others, but they can score just as well as they can pass. And the reason I say it only gave us a sneak peek of what the modern point forward will actually look like, because both players, Grant Hill and Penny Hardaway, they both got hurt early. Like, yeah, they gave us success and accolades early, but we didn't really get to see Grant or Penny at their most complete form. And to be honest, even the player after that really could have transcended the point forward position, Tracy McGrady, he also got hurt early. I don't think we actually witnessed the full potential of a true point forward until...
They always talk about the next Michael Jordan, but who is your game pattern after?
You know, I never pattern my game after anybody, but I can receive flashes of Magic and some of Penny Hardaway, one of my favorite players.
The greatest point forward of all time. The player that maximized what a point forward can actually be. This is why I hate when people say, oh my God, LeBron is playing point guard for the first time of his career and all that. Well, yeah, on paper he is, but bro, he's been the system of whatever team he's been on since like 2004. So this is nothing new to him. LeBron, I mean, he really isn't normal, because it's going to be hard to imagine a player with his IQ, his ability to dominate the pick and roll and find the open big or the open three-point shooter, and his ability to score at will. Like, that's going to be hard to duplicate. Even to this day, with how far we've come with unicorns, it's still one and only LeBron. Giannis, he doesn't have his passing IQ or his perimeter game. Ben Simmons doesn't have his perimeter game. Luka Doncic doesn't have his defensive IQ and his, athleticism to guard all positions. Like, it's still only one LeBron.
How many of you know working out on an off day after a back-to-back? I died for this, dog. I live for it. Strive for greatness out here, cuz.
Now, LeBron, he was obviously the most complete, but there were other point forwards during his time. Lamar Odom, somebody who really doesn't get talked about in a positive light, he was like a 6'10", Ben Simmons-like player. He didn't have Ben Simmons' passing ability and IQ and all that, but he could run the floor. He just didn't take the game as serious as he should have. Danilo Gallinari early, he was another one. Hedo Turkoglu, a player that never gets talked about. Bro, if you look at Luka Doncic's game, He's kind of like Hito 2.0. Obviously, he's playing in a more three-point friendly era, so his stats are ballooned. But Hito can actually shoot and create for others. He just played in a different era. And Hito Turkoglu was 6'10 and a complete sniper. So he was a part of kind of another unicorn wave.
With the 9th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Dirk Nowitzki from Würzburg, Germany.
Nowadays, if you look at centers, bro, they are all pretty good shooters. Look at how efficient Cat is from deep at 7 foot. And he's shooting 7 a game. He's shooting Damian Lillard's career average, so it's not like he's putting up a little bit. He just makes them so efficiently. This was not normal 30 years ago. Dirk Nowitzki basically came into the league and completely changed it forever for the bigs. No, I am not saying he's the first big to ever be able to shoot threes good and all that, so do not flood my comments with that. But at 7 feet tall, we've never seen somebody that caused that much of a mismatch every single night. Like, he was the definition of a true unicorn. You couldn't just throw a big at him because, bro, he's going to make that big step out and that paint is going to be wide open. And you couldn't throw a smaller player on him because, bro, he's 7 feet tall. Like, that's impossible to guard. The NBA better be lucky, and I mean lucky as hell, that he wasn't much of a dribbler. Because if we found somebody that can create his own shot whenever he wants, wherever he wants, at 7 feet tall, bro, we might as well stop playing. I mean, the league would just be over. Then we got Kevin Durant, a 7-foot sniper who could actually dribble the ball and get his own shot anywhere on the court. Impossible to guard. Back in the 90s and definitely the 80s, if you were 7 foot, your ass was somewhere on the block. Like, that was an unwritten rule. Your big ass was on the block getting boards and putting up hook shots and stuff like that. KD changed all that. When people ask me, who's the greatest scorer ever, I don't care what you talking about. Kobe 81, Michael Jordan, KD's career high is only 50 or 40 something. I don't care what you talking about. There's never been a 7-foot player that can do what he can. He's always going to be my answer. Because of Kevin Durant, today it is seen as normal for a 7-footer to take the ball up the court and create offense. Bobo for the Nuggets is like 7'2", and he's about to get a lot of minutes probably as a forward, and he's 7'2", and he's going to be creating offense and stuff like that. That wasn't really a thing before KD. Brandon Ingram, who was balling last night, he's not 7 foot, but he's up there, and it's looked at as normal for him to do what he does because of Kevin Durant. Giannis, he's another one. He's a player to me that really doesn't even have a position. Like, he can literally play all 5. And now, with the small ball, kind of positionless style of basketball nowadays, he fits perfect. And this brings me directly into the biggest unicorn / pioneer maybe ever, Stephen Curry. The player that, to me, he kind of normalized what used to be one of the most frowned upon styles of basketball. It used to be, shooting teams don't win championships. You need that big, like you can't win shooting threes and all that. Well, he changed the NBA. When Stephen Curry got drafted, one of his biggest knocks on his scouting report was the fact that he wasn't really your prototypical point guard. He wasn't your Chris Paul, John Stockton, play with a big type of player. He was completely different. But look at the NBA today and tell me what star point guard actually fits that profile, like that Chris Paul, John Stockton, Jason Kidd type of player. Chris Paul, obviously, because he got grandfathered in and he's still effective, he good. But Trae Young, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, they're all more on the scoring side. Most point guards, in today's NBA, they're either bigger players like the point forwards I was talking about earlier, or they're very unorthodox to what the NBA norm used to be. Point guards nowadays that can't score and get their own, like Rondo, bro, they can't even start anymore because that's how important it is. Also, the way the Warriors played, led by Stephen Curry, they kind of eliminated the effectiveness of centers to some degree. And I'm talking about, you know, the dinosaur centers like Roy Hibbert, Andre Drummond, those guys that really can't move their feet or have any type of outside game. A player like Giannis or even an Anthony Davis, they're the perfect modern NBA center. Like, they can do everything defensively. Giannis can literally guard all 5 positions. Like, literally, he can guard all 5 positions. So he's literally perfect in the pick and roll situation. He can switch off on any guard and really kind of shut him down. Look at the defensive player of the year candidates: Anthony Davis, Giannis, basically the players that can switch and still be effective. This is why I think Zion, if he takes the defensive side a little bit more serious, bro, he is the perfect power forward and maybe even sometimes center. Fast enough to switch off on guards, and he's at least girthy enough and he has enough leap to at least bother some bigs, so he could be perfect. But that's the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm so happy the NBA is back. I'm planning on posting at least 3 videos a week now. Make sure you guys like the video, comment, subscribe, follow my Twitter. I'm very active on that. Follow my IG, do all that great stuff, guys. And until next time, as always, stay tuned.